Hi, I'm Britt.
And my name is Alissa.
And this is SkeleTales.
And this is the podcast where we strive to answer the age-old question of, is my dead grandma watching me? So, Britt, you know when you go to the bathroom in a public place and it's like nasty and you don't want to sit on the toilet seat and there's none of those little toilet holder paper things. And so you hover.
Yeah.
And then in doing so, you just piss all over the seat. And then you have to kind of wipe it up because you do feel bad, but...
But what if you don't?
Oh, Grandma saw it. Grandma knows, and she saw that. Grandma's watching.
You gotta work on that leg strength, girl. That piss is going all over the seat.
I'm real shaky. Gotta work on squats.
Do we just talk about piss and rings and dead grandmas over here, Alissa?
Very rarely.
We talk about stories of the supernatural. You know, I do need to clarify. I told somebody about the podcast last night at Mike's work Christmas party. And they were like, oh, so you like write these stories? No, these are first-person stories that we retell and share on the podcast.
Yes.
So, yes, we tell stories about ghosts and supernatural, but these are not made-up stories. These are from the mouths of our listeners, friends, people we meet on the sidewalk. Yes, true tales.
That's a good point. We should maybe like come up with like a tagline or a subtitle that is consistent.
That's too much work.
True tales of the strange, unusual, and paranormal.
Oh, damn. Look at you, Snip Snap.
Hell
I
yeah.
like that. Here we are.
That sums it up, right?
Yeah, totally. Do you have some stories tonight for us?
Okay, so for my first story, I don't know if you remember way back last week when you told a story about North Carolina and we were like,
yeah,
what are the cryptids in North Carolina all about? So I said, I think that might be Bunnyman territory because I'm going to tell you about the Bunnyman of
yes,
Northern Virginia.
Hold on. Let me just check my map here. Northern Virginia. It checks out. It is by North Carolina.
Oh, is it?
Perfect. Yes.
I knew it was in the region. So it's in North Virginia. Wait, is Virginia north of North Carolina?
It is.
Okay, so
Good
Northern
job.
Virginia.
Directly on top of North Carolina.
Okay. So yeah, it's in that region. Maybe one of the Bunnymans.
Yes.
Wandered down to, I forget what your story was about completely. All I remembered was like, oh, I mentioned the Bunnyman last week. I better look that up. And I remembered it was in North Carolina. But what the hell did you, what they see?
It was the tall, dark creature that jumped into the back of their truck.
That's right. Okay. I don't know. Did it have a hatchet?
We don't know.
Okay, probably not the Bunnyman then.
Okay, no, don't spoil.
Probably.
Don't spoil.
Okay,
I want to
no spoilers.
Hear this.
Okay. The legend of the Bunnyman and the Bunnyman Bridge is an old urban legend native to Northern Virginia, not far from Washington, D.C., and has been told from generation to generation of middle schoolers. So the legend has it that the Bunnyman lives near a bridge and it's called the Colchester Overpass. And legend has it that he is an escaped convict or he escaped from a mental hospital and dresses as a Bunnyman with a hatchet. He killed at least 2 people and he'll chop up animals and hang them from the overpass. That's the lore, anyway. It's based on a real story, real happening, supposedly.
Actually is a thing.
Okay. So the real story was in 1970 at an Air Force Academy cadet and his lady were out like going to the smooching place near Fairfax County in Virginia. And apparently now that's a very wealthy area, but at the time it was still like really kind of rural and out in the middle of nowhere. So him and his lady start getting comfortable and doing a little smooching. And then all of a sudden they're shocked to see a man standing outside the car in a white costume. And the next thing they know, he's smashing the window and they put the car into drive and they get the hell out of there. And then only after they've driven away do they notice that there's a hatchet on the floor of the car.
Ooh, freaky.
Okay, so then for the next few weeks after this happened, the Fairfax police get police reports of sightings of the Bunnyman in the area. And it was published in the Washington Post. And so like on October 22nd, 1970, Fairfax County Police said yesterday they're looking for a man who likes to wear, quote unquote, a white sunny rabbit costume and throw hatchets through car windows. Honest. I feel like that was in the police blotter or something, you know? Do you ever read that? I love police blotters.
Oh, they're so good.
I haven't read one in so long. Oh my God. Okay, so then on Halloween night, 1970, a man wearing a furry rabbit suit with 2 long ears appeared again on Guinea Road in Fairfax County Thursday night, police reported, this time wielding an axe and chopping away at a roof support on a new house.
What is happening?
The imagery of that is unsettling.
Yes.
4 days later, on November 4th, 1970, Fairfax County's Bunnyman, or an animal of the same breed, has been sighted in Prince George's County. 3 Seat Pleasant children reported upon their return home from school Monday that they had just seen this man on the street with this bunny rabbit suit on with a hatchet. And then November 6th, 1970, the Bunnyman, the elusive figure who burrowed his hatchet in the windshield of an occupied car 2 weeks ago in Fairfax County, was reportedly seen at least 50 times yesterday, police say.
50? Oh yeah. My gosh.
And to this day, no one knows who the Bunnyman was, but the legend persists.
So the actual Bunnyman just likes to scare people.
The fact that he was hatcheting on a roof of this new development, maybe he was just like anti-progress. He was real pissed off and he's like an angry bunny. Obviously he's an angry bunny when he's got a hatchet running around and stuff, but like
smooching makes him red in the eyes and want blood.
Yeah.
Hatch at the window. I am thinking about every Easter, I feel like I get the thing that pops up that's like creepiest Easter bunny outfits.
Oh my God. That's what I'm picturing too.
Every Easter bunny out there, even modern day, is terrifying. But the ones from the 70s are so freaky. They've got the like plastic mold face in the middle, but then it like molted fuzzy fur. So disturbing.
And it almost is too bunny-like, you know, as opposed to like a cartoony version. It's like, no, we'll just stick like a real bunny face on this and then, make it maybe slightly bigger and then fabric ears and stuff.
Size.
Speaking of that, the one person, the lady and the man, the first ones who were attacked, the guy was like, he was wearing a white bunny suit. And the lady thought he was actually wearing like, I forget what she called it, a crew suit or something, which basically like the Ku Klux Klan, like pointy hats and dressed all in white. Oh, I hope the Bunnyman's not just a Ku Klux Klan member. Actually, that'd make a lot of sense now. Just walking around with an axe.
Oh yeah,
angry
what was that
about
new
stuff.
Building they were chopping down?
I don't know. Maybe he was trying to make a cross.
Oh.
To burn, right? Like a lot of it adds up now. Shit.
Oh no!
I like the.
Are we debunking the Bunnyman here?
Oh, yeah.
Not in a good way.
No, that's not what I expected. Oh man. Okay, so he hangs out at this one bridge, and for a while, the bridge, the actual overpass, it's called the Colchester Overpass, and this is where he would allegedly hang the dead animals and stuff from. But they had a website for a bit, and they had a facts and for. What is FAQ? Facts area?
Frequently
asked questions. I really struggled with that. I was like,
facts and questions.
You? Fuck you? What the hell? Facts and questions.
Fuck you.
Frequently asked questions. I did know that. Okay. Anyway, so in there it says, why can't we find the bunny man? And their response is bunny man, bunny man, bunny man. Say the word bunny man 3 times and something exciting is supposed to happen at Bunnyman Bridge.
Ooh.
Yeah. 2 things are more likely to happen than the bunny man showing up. Either a train will come barreling down the railroad track without warning, or a car will come racing around the narrow blind curves leading to the overpass. Hopefully you won't be standing in the way. Maybe that's why the bunny man hasn't been found.
Ooh.
So it's just implying people just get smashed by cars instead of in trains.
It's not the bunny man killing your ass.
Yeah. And then apparently there were 3 bunny man movies made, horror movies, and they were terrible, just awful. Absolutely.
I don't see how you
awful.
could make, I just don't see how you could make it a good movie. No. I mean, it is a great folklore. It's a great lore story, but maybe not 3 movies worth.
No, I don't know. I don't think so. Yeah, 1. I think 1 would be solid.
Sure.
But I'm not going to watch it, even the first. Sorry. Donnie Darko I'd watch again, though. That was good. I'll just pretend it's about the bunny man. So that's the story of the bunny man in North Virginia.
Nice. Well done. I'm so happy to know. I was not really sure what to imagine when you said bunny man. I was thinking like some sort of forest spirit, but a hatchet wielding bunny is way creepier.
Yeah, I thought it was something more of the woods and not just a crazed lunatic.
Crazed lunatic.
Yeah.
Equally scary, though.
Yeah.
I am so excited to share my story.
Okay.
I met with a friend last weekend who told me this story. She was very scared to tell me this story. So I told her that I would change all of the names in the story, possibly even locations, because to this day, this gives her the chills.
Does she think the ghost will find her? If it's a ghost?
It's not a ghost.
Oh, no. Oh, I'm so excited.
It's the bunny man. Just kidding. It's not the bunny man. So remaining anonymous, I'm going to change some names. So we will call my friend Elizabeth. Elizabeth grew up in Chicago. This story takes place when she was a freshman in high school. So she's about 14. She hung around with this group of friends, and they were all Russian. So my friend Elizabeth, her parents are Russian, but she was born in the U.S. But a lot of these friends in this group were born in Russia and are now in the U.S. So one of these friends in her group is this very attractive, very charismatic girl who we will call Natasha. Everybody wanted to be Natasha's friend to the point of obsession. She said she was like a moth. She was like a light, and you're a moth drawn to the light. She was just that type of person.
Okay. Ooh.
Now, Natasha's parents were going out of town for a week, and she asked Elizabeth if she could stay at her house. And she thought that she was the coolest person because Natasha picked her house to stay at for a week. So the whole time she's at her house, they're having a great time. It was a really enjoyable stay. But about midway through the stay, there was drama within this friend group. One of the girls in the group, who we will call Peg, claimed that Natasha had cursed her. She said that Natasha had a book of spells that she was given by her mother, and that Natasha was a witch. Peg told Elizabeth that Natasha had wanted to date a very popular, good-looking guy in school. We'll call him Chad. That sounds like a good popular boy name.
Yeah, Chad.
So
totally. Chad.
She used a love spell from the book. The spell requires you to feed your period blood to the man, and he will fall in love with you forever.
Ew.
So Pat, wait, I changed her name again. Peg.
Okay.
Peg goes on to tell that Natasha gave soup to Chad with her period blood in the soup.
Disgusting.
Truly. Okay. So the next day, Natasha's parents arrive home. She goes home. That same day, Elizabeth's little 11-month-old sister Hannah wakes up and is unable to lift her head. It's just hanging limp like a rag doll. Just there's no muscle in the neck. And then there were a few other less dramatic, unfortunate events that happened that made Elizabeth think that this wasn't just a coincidence. So she decides to tell her mom. She tells her mom what Peg said and that she thinks that Natasha might have something to do with trying to take some energy from their house or something. And so this freaks the mom out, and she decides to take Elizabeth, baby Hannah, to a Russian energy healer. Elizabeth's mom is really into energy work and the occult and all of that. And so this hearing that Natasha might be dabbling in the dark arts really freaked the mom out. They go to the energy healer.
Okay.
He asks Elizabeth to draw a picture of Natasha. So she does. And he goes, yes. Oh, wait, hold on. I should do it in my Russian voice, huh? Hold on. I got to practice here. What is this? Okay. Yes. She is definitely stealing energy away from your family. And here is what you're going to do. Is it too distracting?
No, it's perfect. No, it is absolutely perfect. I love it.
Okay.
I love it. This whole story, I love so much. Everything about it so far. I'm into it.
Good. It goes on. Do you have something that belongs to her? Yes, Elizabeth had her makeup bag, which she'd left from her stay. Good. Take it outside and burn it. She has left other items of hers around your house. Oh my gosh, I've lost it. House. Okay, she's left other items in your house because she's made a connection there. And that is drawing energy from these items. Now, here are the places in your house that you will find her items. Your sister's bookshelf, your room in the nightstand, your pillowcase, your closet, and in the corner of your blanket. The energy healer also performed an energy cleanse on Hannah while they were there.
Hannah?
The baby sister.
The baby sister.
Baby Hannah.
Okay. I'm now expecting everyone to have Russian names, and every time you don't say a Russian name, I'm like, wait, who's that? Okay. Got it. I was worried about the baby sister, being all floppy necked, and they're like,
I know.
Let's go to the psychic, or let's go to the witch doctor.
Energy
healer. But baby's got floppy head. You don't just that's not good. Babies shouldn't have floppy heads. That's like meningitis or something.
Hey, don't distract from the story.
Did I just spoil it? Does the baby have meningitis?
The baby does not have meningitis.
Okay, just checking.
Okay. So he does a cleanse on Hannah, baby Hannah. That day, they get back from the cleanser, healing cleanser, energy cleanser. Elizabeth gets home and goes to the exact places that the healer had told her. Okay. And there she finds a trove of huge sewing needles that are about 4 inches long. Giant needles and bobby pins are jammed in the corner of her blanket, in her pillowcase. There are probably 10 in the floor of her closet. And there, in her nightstand, a fucking huge needle. Every spot the healer had told her.
Did he tell her it was going to be needles? She just said something of hers, right?
Something of hers, an item of hers.
What a creepy ass thing. She be carrying around.
Yeah. So then she goes into Hannah's bedroom and looks on the bookshelf, and she doesn't see any needles on the bookshelf. So she starts looking through every book on the bookshelf, fanning through. In one of the books falls out a piece of scrap paper, and it looks like it was torn from a bit of a greeting card envelope, and written on the paper were the names of everyone in Elizabeth's family: her mom, her dad, Elizabeth, and Hannah. Hannah, written 3 times, all in Natasha's handwriting.
Oh, creepy.
Well, after that, Elizabeth sure as shit burned that makeup bag in the backyard. She was like really freaked out, as rightly so. So, she goes to her friend group with Peg there, who's been telling everybody all this witch stuff. And she confirms, y'all, Natasha is for sure a witch. Like, I've got proof with these needles. So Natasha's calling and saying, hey, I left my makeup bag at your house. I need to pick it up. Can I come get my makeup bag? Elizabeth, the badass that she was, she says, sure, come over and come get it. At this point, she's burned this bag to like dust. But what happens is she meets Natasha in the driveway, and Elizabeth has put every needle and bobby pin that she found in a Ziploc bag, and she hands this clear bag over to Natasha, and Natasha looks at the bag, grabs it, turns around, doesn't say a word, just walks away. So around this time, when all of this shit is happening, some other strange things are happening within the group. So there was a friend of theirs that was a Lithuanian, this big Lithuanian dude. And something happened between him and Natasha, and it really upset Natasha. And she says to the group of friends, watch what happens. 2 weeks later, he stopped showing up to school. 6 months later, he shows up at Elizabeth's door, and he is strung out on heroin, and he asks for $20. And so she gave him $20, and she has no idea what happened to him. Remember Peg? The one who was like talking shit on Natasha, saying she's a witch. Well, shortly after this all goes down with the needles, she ends up running away from home and is missing for months. Nobody knows where she is. Her parents end up finding her in a crack house, strung out on drugs. And the rest of her high school career, she was in and out of rehab. Elizabeth does not know where Peg is. So fast forward a few years later, Elizabeth is hanging out with a friend from high school. They've graduated high school at this point, but she's hanging out with a friend who is still friends with Natasha. And the friend says that she actually sees Natasha quite a lot because their boyfriends are good friends. Do you want to guess who Natasha's boyfriend is?
The boy that she tried to put a curse on or whatever.
That's right. Good old period blood soup Chad.
Oh, because it worked. Ew. All these years later.
Fast forward, present day. That is her husband currently, and they have 2 kids together.
Oh, because he drank. Does he know that he drank her period blood?
Fuck no, he doesn't know.
I wonder.
I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming he doesn't know this.
What would you have to do to reverse that curse? What would you have to eat? Do you have to just suck on a tampon? A dry one. No, just a dry one to get the period blood out of the system, right? I don't know.
Okay, I did dive down a bit of a hole because I was curious, like, what is this? Where is this magic? What kind of hoodoo, voodoo is this? What are these needles? Like, I wanted some answers. So I ended up diving deep into the internet, and it turns out that Russia has a huge obsession with psychics, witchcraft, and the occult, which is why the mom probably most likely ran to an energy healer before the hospital.
Okay.
Which, by the way, baby Hannah, the day after they went to the healer, totally back to normal. Head working great, running around like a normal little baby should.
That's the real red flag in this story. The baby with the flopping head and nobody actually going to the hospital or anything with that baby. Being sure it's a teenager,
judgy.
a spell over.
We're talking like late 90s here.
1890s? How old was this friend? You didn't mention that. Wait a minute.
She's about all right. She's about our age. Okay. So, Russia, huge obsession with witchcraft and the occult. I came across some interesting things. Since 2008, the Russian government has required an official license if you are going to do magic. In other words, the Russian state is formally licensing magicians as well as sorcerers, wizards, witches, or other characters who would like to sell themselves as performing magic. And it's very common that people go to folk healers and psychic mediums instead of doctors. And there are some places that don't offer healthcare in certain areas, or there are times when doctors in Russia will actually like recommend people go to these like folk healers instead of modern day medicine. It's a practice that still happens in Russia now. Okay, so go back to the needles. I was like very curious about this.
Yeah.
What kind of needles are these? I came across a Facebook page called Magpie's Corner, East Slavic Rituals, Witchcraft, and Culture. And the wealth of information. Like she's written some books and stuff. But I came across one post that was just about needles in magic. She says that symbolism of the needle in magic is strongly connected to attaching something to someone, or on the opposite, separating someone from something, whether this something is positive or negative. She continues to say, hexed needles could be secretly stuck in door frames or walls of the building. This was believed to open up the path for malevolent spirits into the home, causing illness and disagreements in the hexed house. Which, like, perfectly describes exactly what happened to my friend. Another thing that I came across that I was really delighted by actually is some Russian superstitions. And on Wikipedia, there's probably like 150 of these.
Oh, yeah. There's. I just read an article on this recently, actually.
Did you?
Yeah, like Lithuania specifically. You mentioned that Lithuanian fella.
Yeah.
Like you're not supposed to like whistle indoors in Lithuania.
Yes!
It's illegal. Like if you whistle indoors, they believe that little demons will pop up in your house.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so I highlighted a few of these. So the other day you were asking about your hand itching.
Oh, yeah.
And you were like, what is this? This means something, right? It is an omen that wealth will come to you. I think I texted you that after I read it. I was like, get ready, coming into some money.
I knew that. I thought that was my itchy palm. That's when your palm itches. I knew that ahead of time. That's why I was asking you. I'm like, Britt, it's my pinky, specifically my pinky itching.
But this just says hand, and your pinky's part of your hand. So just own it. You're going to get some money. Okay?
My money.
Get ready.
Okay.
Your money pinky. Your money maker. All right. Okay, here's one. If a chicken crows at you 3 times before noon, the death of a close family member can be expected within a fortnight. The chicken should be killed but not eaten, as consuming it will bring further misfortune. Here's another one that I like. It is considered bad luck to make a toast with an empty glass. If done, the toaster must finish off the bottle of what he last drank. So that's
I had heard of that too.
Did you?
I'd heard the empty glass one only because I just read an article about superstitions from around the world, and that was one of them.
Wow! Oh, what are the chances?
Yeah. But I did not know that you had to finish the bottle of something.
The whole freaking bottle. If your ears or cheeks are hot, someone is thinking or talking about you. Ooh. I had heard about that one when I was younger.
Like if your ears are ringing, I thought. But
you read my mind. If you have ringing in one of your ears, Ask someone which ear is ringing. If they guess right, you should both make a wish.
Which ear is ringing?
Do you have a ringing ear?
I did just a minute ago, yeah.
Did you? Right ear.
It was my right ear.
Yeah,
Oh
let's make a wish.
Okay,
let's make a wish. Okay. All right, I got it. Can we tell our wishes?
Then they won't come true. Is there anything about telling a wish? We can tell our wish. What was your...
But then it won't come true.
Okay, damn.
That's another superstition.
Okay,
here we are.
It is.
One last fun fact. This isn't a superstition at all, but if you were curious about dabbling in Russian witchcraft, there is a book on Walmart's website called Ancient Russian Spells, and it straight up just gives you Russian spells, but it is written in Russian, so you'll have to learn that. $25. There's another one, Slavic witchcraft.
You can buy these all at Walmart. This is blowing my mind. It's the fact that Walmart is selling ancient books of Russian spells and Slavic witchcraft.
The Slavic witchcraft was on Amazon, but I mean it's not. It's easily accessible for anybody to just grab a hold of. Apparently, though, Natasha, her mom was into witchcraft and into this. And so she handed back down this book, which has probably been in the family and has like taught her daughter, which is why at the age of 14, she's able to cast love spells and hexes on her friend. And
I wonder if that's why she was so charismatic, because she had like done a spell to make everyone so attracted to her.
Absolutely. But that's absolutely what she did.
Like, I almost am not joking that I was like, is this the 1800s? Like, when did this occur? Because everybody in the community, everyone you're talking about being so accepting of the fact that this is witchcraft in action. She even goes to her mom. She's like, fuck, you're right. We got to get over to the psychic here. Like, no one was like, that's not real. Don't believe that. It's made up. You know, everyone was like, fuck, serious. And then Natasha just knew she was busted. She wasn't even like, what's that? Or where's my makeup?
Yeah. Nope. She was like, fuck.
This is so interesting. Okay. I didn't I kind of do want the Slavic book of spells, given that I'm kind of, I've got Slavic heritage.
Maybe you have some of the magic in your bones.
I think I do. Fuck yeah. I'm leaving needles places all the time. It's a problem. I didn't even know why.
Bobby pins. Yeah. You got bobby pins everywhere.
Just everywhere. I don't know. I didn't know why I was doing it. I'm attaching myself to places. No, I love that story. That was like make believe. I didn't.
Yeah, it sounds made up. Maybe that's why I had to make the preface at the beginning of the show of like, this happened to my friend. Like, she like experienced.
I wasn't sure if shit. Russia was like the right place. Once you said that, I'm like, wait, how many of these places are made up? What is made up? Is this person really foreign?
Russia is real.
Okay, that makes sense. Great story, Elizabeth. Jeez Louise.
Yes, seriously. And she was like, no, but like, you can't say names because I mean, this girl is still out there casting spells and doing who knows what.
Yeah. She probably just doesn't want the fact that she fed period blood to her boyfriend to get out. That also sounds like just a mean middle school rumor.
Oh, actually, I'm glad that you mentioned this. So in that post from the Facebook group, they are talking about needles. And so it's just some crazy shit. So they're talking about, I'm just going to tell you a couple of quick spells that involve needles. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And then you can tell your story.
Well, wait, are we going to put anyone in danger? Are you giving out recipes?
Yeah, I am. So, I mean,
well, we already know how to
don't
hex
take notes,
people.
everybody.
Okay.
Just listen. Don't take notes, detailed notes. Here we go.
Okay.
An ancient way to magically attract a woman to a man was to find and catch a snake whole. Holding its head firmly, pierce its eyes with a needle threaded with red thread while saying an incantation, and then secretly tuck the needle into the hem of the victim's clothing. The spell would last until the victim finds the needle.
I feel like there's not a lot of worry anymore for anyone listening doing that. I'm not as concerned about
also, I don't know the
listeners.
incantation. So they'd get the snake and do the needle and be like, oh, crap, I don't know the incantation.
They had it all the way through the eyes. So, shit. I don't know the words.
In the Vyatka region of Russia, witches were said to cause impotency in young men by tracing a circle around a place where the victim urinated, and then sticking a needle in the middle of that circle. This hex was called putting a yoke on one's penis, and it caused impotency. So that's when you do to someone, you're like, fuck you, dude. Zip, needle.
I mean, that one we could try. We just need a volunteer. True. Mike.
Fuck you, no. Absolutely not. No. Just go, you know what? The next, festival or whatever, music fest that somebody goes to, and, everyone's peeing everywhere there. Just, find a puddle, circle it, throw that needle in the middle. Let's see what happens.
Right. Well, there's not going to be a news report of an impotence outbreak at Lollapalooza.
There might be.
Throw it in a porta potty and see what happens. Mass impotence.
Yeah, So it's very it's a very detailed process. I imagine the books are thick and extensive.
Yeah, I need the cliff notes. I need a YouTube channel on actually, better yet, just give me a 30-second TikTok on some witchcrafting, and I'm on it. Good story, Elizabeth. My goodness.
Yes. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Crazy. It sounded like make-believe. I love that one. Okay, so for my next story, when I was looking for the Bunnyman story, I was curious if there were any cryptids in North Carolina. The ones that I did find were that there's reports of a wampus cat, which I don't know what the fuck that is, but also a big black cat that is larger than any big cat that was ever native to the area. So a freaking monster panther is what I'm picturing. There's also Native American legends of spirits and the Cherokee people and little people that were part of Cherokee lore, and fairies and whatnot. Still nothing that describes what you were talking about. And then there's a mention of a little green creature that was reported crawling around in Asheville jail for 3 days, scaring inmates and guards in the 1910s, right? So I was like, what the heck is that one all about? I was a little curious about that.
A leprechaun?
I don't know. I was a little green man in a jail. And I was was it just a lizard? My brain automatically goes to something that they could have mistaken it for, but I don't know. I was very sadly, it could have been a leprechaun. That makes the most sense, right? Yeah. I was very sadly disappointed that I could not find that specific tale, because I just found that was the only mention of it. But what I did find was the legend of the Little Red Man. So I'm reading you a story called The Legend of the Little Red Man, and it's from Yes Weekly by Jennifer Beanbauer. It says, over 200 years ago, a young man named Andreas Kemser lost his life in the Moravian town of Salem. After his death, a local ghost story emerged, and he has never been forgotten. The story of the Little Red Man is one of the oldest and best known in North Carolina lore. But what is the truth behind the legend? Who was Kresmer, and how did he become the Little Red Man? Born in Pennsylvania on March 7, 1753, Kemser and his family resided in the Moravian mission settlement of Gnadenhutten.
Nice.
As a teenager, Kemser traveled to North Carolina, settled in Bethabara, the first Moravian settlement in North Carolina, and apprenticed himself to a shoemaker. 3 years later, he moved to Salem and took up residence in the Single Brothers' house, a place where the single men of the community ate, slept, labored, and conducted meetings and held religious services. Kemser worked in the buildings as a shoemaker, and it was there that his mischievous and sometimes reckless deeds were documented. In an effort to keep Kemser busy and likely out of trouble, the church leaders added the task of cleaning chimneys to his duties. Because he was a man of small stature, they believed he would be perfect for the job. On one occasion, Kemser abandoned his job in order to steal a cabbage head from a Salem resident's garden. As a result, he incurred serious punishment and was put to work in the single brother's house kitchen. Of course, trouble followed him there as well. Finally, in 1768, Kemser was given yet another task, but this time it would be his last. That year, a cellar was being dug for an addition to the single brother's house, and Kemser was one of the men assigned to the project. The job was dangerous, and the men were warned not to dig on their knees, as doing so would impede their escape from a cave-in. All but Kemser heeded the advice. On the evening of March 25th, as the men dug deep into the cellar, the ground began to crumble. An alarm was sounded and everyone ran for safety, everyone except Joseph Dixon and Andreas Kemser. A rescue effort ensued and both men were pulled out alive. Dixon had been covered in dirt up to his armpits, while Kemser, who had been digging on his knees, was completely blanketed by earth. Dixon recovered in a couple hours, but Kemser did not. At 2 a.m. on March 26th, this mischievous little man succumbed to his wounds. Kemser was buried in God's Acre. His estate was sent to his mother in Pennsylvania, and the cellar was eventually finished. But that is not the end of the story. Sometime after Kemser's death, mysterious sights and sounds were reported in the building where he died. Some claimed to have heard a tapping of a shoemaker's hammer, while others professed to have seen a small man in red slipping past the doors along the hallway. Was this clamorous little red man the ghost of Kemser? To most, it was a logical assumption, as Kemser was not only short, but he was said to have been wearing a red cap and jacket when he died. Many years after Kemser's death, the single brother's house gave up its men as residents and became a home for widows. Yet, despite a change in occupants, the little red man remained. In fact, one of the most popular stories about the ghost occurred when a young girl named Betsy visited her grandmother at the widow's home. During her stay, Betsy became excited and ran to her grandmother. She explained that she had seen a little red man in the hallway who beckoned her with his finger, as if to say, "Come here."
Oh, creepy.
That is creepy. The little red man continued to be seen by people of all ages until about 1950, when local legend said he disappeared. Around that time, a minister visited Winston-Salem and was told the story of the little red man. Convinced he could put the spirit to rest, the clergyman walked into the building, invoked the Trinity, and spoke the words, "Little man, go to rest." Some said it worked, others said it didn't, and some, like Augustus Fogel, a former mayor of Salem, believed the ghost was nothing more than a figment of overactive imaginations. Although the existence of the little red man cannot be proven, the documented truth is that Kemser was a real man who lived, worked, and misbehaved in present-day Winston-Salem. When he died, he metamorphosized into a legend that will live on as long as the story continues to be told. Dun, dun,
Oh,
dun.
shit. Causing mischief in death, too.
Yeah. Both of these are kind of the same vein of like a real person, a larger than life, you know, like I kind of, how do we go about doing that for ourselves, Britt?
Being infamous and like,
yeah, like you could be like,
people.
Yeah, you could be like the 6-foot she-woman of Austin who lurks and lunges and like pees in people's bushes, poops. Nope. What could you do?
What?
You'd like steal their light bulbs on the deck or something. What would you do? You can be
chickens.
an imagine. Oh,
I'd be out.
What would you do with chickens? Wait.
At the wee hours of the morning, I'd be out there feeding the chickens.
You'd steal the chickens and the rats. People, that's what they'd see. Yeah. They'd see you walking through fields with like chickens and rats. And like all the animals. That's because you love animals so much. That's what you would do.
Yes.
You'd be like the collector.
I'd have this voice, and it would be like the Pied Piper, except it's like all chicken, rats, dogs, cats. So they'd just be like, follow her.
Yeah.
All right.
You'd be able to like hypnotize them and stuff.
What would you do? Your legendary ghosty self.
Okay, so if I died, then a lore had to be created around me.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Okay.
You have a great sense of smell. So something with smells, like people would get like pungent, like scents thrown in their faces.
I would be the stank monster of Issaquah.
Legendary.
Yeah, so
legendary.
Goals. I think
that's a good story. I like that. I love
the Little Red Man.
Those folky ones.
Yeah, I do. I think we talked about this though before too, like how there's like a seed of truth in a lot of these legends, right? There is something to it. But poor little Andreas shouldn't have been on his knees digging. They told you.
For shame. He was a terrible listener.
For shame.
Didn't obey. Rebel.
Yeah.
Always a rebel.
Well, cool. Does anyone out there in listening Landville, if a legend developed around you, what would the cryptid you would be?
Please tell us. Or if you have some fun Wiccan stories, or even just some fun Russian superstitions that we didn't mention, tell us. Yeah. You can email all of these stories to
SkeleTalesPodcast@gmail.com, or you can call and leave them in spoken form. Leave some incantations addressed to Britt at
our hotline is 302-689-DEAD, 302-689-3323. But only incantations that are for like positive things, like you're going to have really luscious long hair and like great smelling breath. You know, those kinds of things. Yeah,
those kinds of things.
No bad ones.
No, I know. I immediately scared myself. I was like, please don't do that, anybody. I don't want to listen to that. I'm like, why'd I say that? That's going to be really scary and freak me out. I'm got hung up on your word of Wiccan. Is that what these people were practicing? Wiccanism?
I think. Well, witches are it's wicked. Oh shit! Am I going to offend some people?
You might.
I always just assumed that like the plural form of witches. Oh wait, it would be witches. Fuck. Cut this. A Wiccan. Maybe it's like a coven of witches.
No, I think Wiccan is like.
Is it separate? Fuck.
Wiccan is almost like a religion, I think. Like.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
okay.
Almost.
Scrub
and
that.
I want to say it's like.
I appreciate
good
the Wiccans.
Good witch. White. You know, if you know. Yeah, white magic versus dark magic. Is that what Wiccan is? Like it's very nature-based and shit. I just don't think Wiccans are throwing dirty needles in people's closets and sheets.
Fuck no.
And curses.
That's like black magic, hexes. That doesn't sound nice.
Okay. Well, yeah, so send us your stories. Go check us out on the social medias. Leave us a message. And, Britt. Hey, Britt. No, there was one more thing I wanted. Britt.
Okay, what is it, Alissa?
Britt.
Yes, I'm ready.
Wait, can you hear me? Did you freeze? Huh?
Alissa, what is it?
Haunt you later.
Haunt you later.
Good night.